Hi, everybody. Gina Virginia Casella here. Wanted to wish you a happy full moon. Today's date is September 16th, 2024. So let's get right busy. So the full moon is all about letting go. And as the moon has been waxing, growing, if you will, our dreams, seeds, keys, all of our hopes have also been growing. It's really important to have one focus, which I know can be challenging. And it's okay to have repeat carryover as well. So if you have a candle, that's fantastic. If you're like me, I'm in transition right now. I'm staying at my sister's and I don't have a candle, but it reminds me that spirit work is just like camping. And that's something that I carried with me throughout my teaching career. Everything is like camping. You make do with what you have. And so if you're like me and you don't have a candle or a piece of wood to burn, to represent the arrow, the letting go, that's okay. Because you know what? You have the fire that burns within your heart. We are the elementals, the earth, the air, the fire, the water. And in this moment, I'm reminded that the biology of belief is a pretty powerful thing. And there's a lot of folks out there who do things like put salt on their windowsill or under their bed to scare away the ghosties. And I just wanted to remind you that we have salt in our bodies. So if you feel like you need to do something like that, all the power to you. But what about if you run out of salt? Just remember that you have salt within your body. And if you don't, then you just connect with the sea and sky and call in the salt. And so something like vitamin C, for example, we don't even produce that unless we're pregnant, ironically. But other than that, we don't produce vitamin C. So if for some reason you needed vitamin C, then you just say some prayers to some water and drink it, and you just pretend and imagine that that is vitamin C. So I want you to think about something that you've been really focusing on and to let that go into the universe. Myself personally, I've been focusing on discernment, and I've been using my pyrite in particular because it helps me go deep. Pyrite, I like working with it. I like to change it up depending what's going on. And right now, what's going on in my life is a strong appreciation for the person I am, the biological one known as Gina. And the example I always give with working with pyrite is we each have a role to play, and we need to really step into our power, honoring our roles. And so as we live our lives alchemize, things change, and that's okay. Nothing is set in stone, not even the Akashic records, because we are the authors and editors of our own stories, right? We're a story species. We need to attach a beginning, a middle, an end. That's appealing to the logical mind. And that's where these gemstones and crystal balls, if you will, are appealing to me. And so pyrite, the example I always use is me when I was really trying to have blonde hair. I love blonde hair, and it cost a fortune to maintain. And someone like myself, naturally dark hair, my hair, I can get it really orange and tingy looking, but to shift it into blonde, unless I dye my hair white and bleach the crap out of it and then put blonde in, which isn't good for my hair, it'll just fall apart. I never really achieved having that blonde hair. And so I thought, you know what, someday I'll just get a wig and have fun with blonde hair. But it made me realize at that time in my life that I needed to appreciate how I look. Yeah, it's fun to have hair and makeup fun, but I wasn't meant to be blonde. It's not working out, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean I'm jealous of people who have blonde hair. I'm happy for them. And that's where pyrite comes into play because there's gold and then there's pyrite. So folks who are naturally have that blonde, beautiful golden hair, that's to me is representative of gold. Folks like myself, we're pyrite. We don't have blonde hair. And can you just imagine pyrite trying to be gold? No, pyrite is not trying to be gold. Pyrite is pyrite. It's not fake gold. People call it that, just like me. I'm not a fake blonde. I'm pyrite. I'm a brunette. And another example I fall back on are the colors of the rainbow, because can you just imagine, you have the rainbow spectrum, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Can you just imagine if those colors were competing against each other? Right? Can you imagine if the color green really wanted to be the color red and had low self-esteem? And then when you looked up at the rainbow, the green in the rainbow was all like faded and not even really there. That doesn't make sense. And so nature reminds us to shine our light because maybe you're the red in the rainbow. Maybe you're the orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, whatever color you are, if you will. That's who you are. And maybe you don't even know what color you are. Just like my dragon, I thought my dragon was black. Turns out my dragon is a very dark, dark purple. And so when I want to go deep within myself, I use different strategies, but when I need to go even deeper, I pull out my pyrite because it helps me connect with um, the biological one known as Gina and who I am. There's lots to say, and I'm wondering if you can relate. I really would adore to hear about it in the comments. And so on that note, for me, I've been working on discernment. So I'm just going to use my hands, left hand, right hand. I'm not going to get hung up on feminine, masculine. Sometimes I do, but in this moment, I'm just going to receive. I'm going to receive the fire from my heart. So I'm just imagining that I'm like starting the fire. It's always there. I'm starting it. And my hand it's like putting wood in the fire and it's catching on fire. And my flame, if you will, my fire is ready to receive. And I want to give the fire discernment. I want the universe to acknowledge that. So my right hand is the discernment, put it into the fire, and I just play like this. Now it's burning. And I'm just imagining a real fire. I've done this lots of times where I've put sticks in the fire, whether it's a campfire, just a little flame, whether I'm taking an actual lighter to it. I'm imagining that burning and I'm imagining it fading and getting absorbed into the air. And that's it, it's gone. So now what I would like to do every full moon is choose 3 oracle cards, really just one, but I wanted there to be some variety. So pick 1, 2, or 3, A, B, or C, and whatever you pick, honor it. So if you pick 1, for example, and then after I reveal all the cards and you're like, well, actually, I really like card number 3 better. Too bad. You need to stick with card number 1. Okay, so you already know whatever the first thought was that came to your mind, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, first, second, third. That's the answer. So don't overthink it. And that's how we get familiar with trusting our subconscious mind. These cards I created the 7-year-old Gina, age 7 Gina, created these. They're the Dragon Dreams Oracle, and they will be for sale at some point. And throughout my discernment process, I'm wondering, do I need to add more cards? I haven't given them a name or a number, and I'm not sure I want to. They're special like that. Maybe I will. So if you're excited to get your hands on these, don't worry, they're coming. And you can absolutely tune in with me in the meantime. So I'm going to just bring my screen down so you can see what I'm doing. A lot of folks, they shuffle the cards. They get really fancy, right? But myself personally, I just put them down so I can't see them. And I really imagine where I'm coming from. The teacher in me, I can't help but share what I'm doing as I'm doing. And absolutely, you can take the Beauty Prayer Transformational Group Program because its focus is on rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, where we identify and smash false inhibiting beliefs that are holding back themes like not being good enough, things not available to you, like there's something wrong or different. And it's a 12-month program, actually. And I've added all kinds of bonuses, including a bonus month. And so we talk about things like abandonment, discernment, homelessness, complete despair, confusion, feeling like you don't even know who you are. You're not even sure if you can trust yourself. You don't even feel comfortable in your own skin. So I got a promotion coming for October, and part of the bonuses are the gift of my time, because I realize that you can't just package something like this, and there's coaching that needs to go with it. And it's important for me that that's a group program, because we're a story species and we need to hear each other's stories, because I'm you and you're me, we're all one, and our reflections, projections, we see that in each other. And the focus is always on the themes, but we need the plot to help get us there. So we are poetry in motion. And I just can't wait to offer that. And part of my discernment is honoring my health. You know, I don't want to rush something, and I just want to sit with it. And when I listen to the voice in my womb, the priority seems to be these Dragon Dreams Oracle cards and sharing those, and also dreaming with Gemstone Gina. And so that's what I'm doing. So it's not just discernment, trusting other people, trusting the ghosties. It's discernment, trusting myself, and really honoring myself. And we're always alchemizing. So even when I trust myself and feel really good about it, trust the ghosties and feel really good about it, you know what? They're alchemizing too. And something I can never control is my environment or other people or the ghosties. All I can do, the best I can do, is self-regulate and control myself. And so find myself on the introverted side these days, DAZE days. And I wonder if you can relate. So if you want to follow my lead, I made this next part up, but if you want to borrow it, make it your own, build on it, please do. It's got to start somewhere. And if you have a routine, oracle cards or tarot cards, maybe you're using gemstones or sticks and stones, I would really love to hear about it in the comments. Present Moment Alchemy is my Facebook group, and that's a really great place to connect. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 cards, A, B, C, first, second, third. Don't change your mind. Okay. And I'm working with a small space. I'm going to close my eyes in just a moment. So if a card falls or something like that, oh well. Okay. So my eyes are now closed. And I like to work with power animals. And so I'm thinking about how we start with snake in the south. We loosen and let go. We make our way to jaguar. Jaguar helps us get unstuck, crossing that rainbow bridge where we meet hummingbird. And hummingbird reminds us that we carry only our highest quality items with us forward. So if somebody out there is feeling low self-esteem, you just remember that you are the high quality item from all the past versions of you. So that's quite extraordinary. And hummingbird, what I really appreciate about hummingbird is that we can only develop our wings if we take the flight. And taking that flight is, that first step in particular is probably the hardest first step. So once we get to hummingbird, we meet eagle condor, and eagle condor is the future, that quantum leap, and being free, flying wingtip to wingtip with eagle condor. And because of our alchemy, we go back to snake, and this cycle continues and continues. And on that note, we coil, recoil, loosen the soil, coil, recoil. What are your morals? Coil, recoil. The truth does not spoil. North is south, east is west. 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 We must get lost to be found. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, tap, tap. Duality is where it's at. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, hop, hop, hop. Duality never stops. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, be, be. The only thing to be certain of is my uncertainty. And I'm pulling the first card. So anybody who thought first, number 1A, okay, so I'm just opening my eyes for a moment. And I chose with this finger here, representative of the air. And I'm going to write that down in case I forget. Okay, my eyes are closed again. Whoa, right here. Okay, and I chose with my middle finger, earth, the air, the fire. Okay, my eyes are closed again. And now I'm thinking about the okay. Yeah, it's like heavy. It really wants right here. Okay. And it's the air. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, the rest I'm just going to put away. And I noticed that one did drop. I'll just pick that up after. And something I like to do is I like to flash it to folks just for fun to see whatever you see. All right. So I've got my 3 cards here. 1, 2, 3, first, second, third, A, B, C, whatever your language is. The first card, when we think about the elementals, comes from the air, breath of life. And it doesn't matter if it's upside down or not, that depending on the storyline you attach, it could help provide insight. Oh, righty-tighty. And it's upside down for me. But like I said, it doesn't matter. It's really a case-by-case scenario. So there's like rainbow scales and righty-tighty. And it's green because whatever intentions you were casting this full moon, it's tightening up all those high quality items. So know that whatever you were wishing for, hoping for, manifesting, seeds you were planting, that the universe is tightening that up for you. Okay, so stay focused. And it's green for hummingbird energy. So it's reassuring that whatever crap that you're letting go of, it's okay, because the high quality items are going to be righty tidying it up. Okay. All right. When I look at the next one, and again, that's coming from the air, so breathe it through. The next card, this was card number 2, second, maybe letter B. And this was a message from the fire because I chose it with my middle finger, my left middle finger. Ah, yes. This one here, it says, it's challenging the language. I'll hold it closer in a moment, but it says like children or offspring. Which one? Freedom fighter or terrorist? Which one? Good guy, bad guy, which one? And it reminds us that the good guy and the bad guy are the same guy. They're the same guy. It also says protagonist or antagonist. You or me, this or that. And there's this picture, it's a cartoon picture representative of a bazooka gun. And there's no handle, there's nowhere for you to place your fingers to fire it, because it's a reminder that the power is never in the weapon, it's always in the person who's holding that weapon. So if you pick this card, you're probably feeling really angry right now. Hate's a strong word. You're probably hating people, hating situations, hating life, hating this world. I don't know, you tell me. I really would love to hear about it in the comments. And it's just reminding you, like, take a look in the mirror, because we are reflections and projections of each other. So whatever you're manifesting this full moon, it might not be the best thing, because whether you're conscious of it or not, you're actually manifesting hate. So this is drawing your attention to that. And there's a tombstone here. I'll hold it closer in a moment. It says, "The Hero with 1,000 Faces," JC for Joseph Campbell. I was really inspired by his book because the protagonist is the antagonist, and the antagonist is the protagonist. And the storyline, even if it's a really shitty one, You have the power to change it. So what's your focus? You know, maybe you're blaming others. I understand there's injustices, and I'm not saying that you're playing the victim. This is saying start seeing you as me and me as you. Start seeing the world around you as a reflection of you. And if you don't like the world around you, what can you do to change it? And of course, we can never control our epigenetics, the world around us, but we can do our best to control ourselves. And so that was card number 2. The next, oh, and this card, good thing I wrote it down, came from the fire. Came from my middle finger, which is not a read between the lines kind of remark. It's the earth, the air, the fire, the water, at least for my left hand. And I could feel like the sense of passion. Some folks out there who chose card number 2, you're like, what? I'm not promoting hate. Subconsciously you are. You're upset. There's a lot of passion there. And I know myself, I can relate. I tend to get really passionate about things, and then the fire within me gets unbalanced, and I end up, that beautiful fire ends up burning me, and it's like, how did this happen? So that's a message from the fire elementals, something to think about. Okay. Moving beyond categories, including the category that you're in. We're all monsters, if you will, depending on perspective. Okay, the third card. Ah, yes, patterns. And I'll hold it up in a moment. This one also came from the air. And I'll show you the card in a moment. There's a game of snakes and ladders. So it's like a checkered board, and you got the ladders and the snakes, and depending on where you land, you can go up or down, and you get mixed up in this game of life, if you will. There's all these patterns. Well, patterns versus programming, what is that? Are those the same thing? Authentic versus conditional. Good parenting versus good programming. Those are ideas for you to play along with. And the rules, I'll show you the card. The first rule is to forget all the rules. And so if you're playing a game, even if it's this game of life, if you will, contracts, you just burn that right up. Okay. People who chose card number 3, third, maybe letter C, whatever appealed to your logical mind. It's okay to forget the rules, because the first rule is making sure that the game can be applied to everybody. So there's this really cute picture. There's a cartoon picture, and it's a teacher, and it's all these animals. There's an elephant, a giraffe, a monkey, a bird, a goldfish. And the teacher is saying, okay, in order to pass the test, you need to climb the tree. And some of the animals are like, what? They can't climb. So they automatically fail the test. And of course, this doesn't make sense. The test needs to be altered so that the animals in this picture can play the game. And so if you feel like you're playing a game and like the rules of the game are not working, yeah, throw away the rules. Throw away those rules. And there's lots of fire. And what's interesting is it didn't come from, this message isn't coming from the fire elemental, it's coming from the air elemental. So you might be feeling like you're being choked. You can't breathe because you're suffocating in somebody else's rules. somebody else's program, somebody else's imposed subconscious programming. And that can be very stressful. We're born into a family. Using myself as an example, I was baptized when I was a baby. I didn't have a choice. My parents raised me to believe in God. I did my first communion, first confession. Why? Because that's what was imposed on me, whether it was well intended or not. When I started questioning things, questioning the rules, it was stressful. And so it's okay, as long as you're coming from a place of integrity, it's okay to challenge and question things, and it's okay to invent new rules. It's all part of your alchemy. And the word play is on fire. And that's it. So card number 1, there it is again. So whatever you're manifesting, all the high quality items are tightening up. That was a good one if you picked number 1. If you picked number 2, the power is in your hand. Are you the protagonist or are you the antagonist? Well, actually, you're both. You're both. And for what it's worth, we can think of the antagonist not as somebody who's evil. The antagonist can be like a jerk or, a dick, if you will. But sometimes that dickism, that personality, we need it because it helps us become assertive. And so we need to find balance with this weaving. And that's where this infinity sign and figure 8 come to my mind. Okay, so practice the balancing. You're the hero in your hero's journey, and no one can write your story like you, and only you can be you. And yeah, maybe the spirit is immortal, but the biological one you are, this is just a very temporary time. It's just a blink of an eye in the whole universe. And that's why your voice counts and you matter. Okay. And this one was a message from fire. So find balance between being the good guy and the bad guy, and try not to see it as good guy, bad guy. See it as indifference. And this third one, this was about throwing away the rules. Okay, if you need to let go of some friends, maybe even let go of your career, maybe let go of a community. It doesn't mean you have to hate people, but making changes to your game. And the game of life, I struggle with that language, game, because my life is not a game. My life is not a joke, right? And so when I say words like game, I hope you can appreciate that I'm using it as part of a storyline. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my full moon reading. And now I just want to close the ceremony. So it's like 2 trees coming together to support each other with the prayer hands. We go down right in front of the heart chakra, and our elbows go out. We're strong. We're strong when we're united. And I give thanks and praise. I appreciate all of those who are taking an interest in what I'm doing, and I feel excited about it. I feel excited about my discernment. I personally have reached out for some mentorship. The hypnotherapist needs a hypnotherapist too, right? And I acknowledge that. And it's so lovely to see my reflections and projections in folks who are around me. I let a lot go. And I'm thankful for the messages from the air, 2 messages from the air, and 1 message from the fire. Free will is ours. Our wisdom can never be lost. Our spirits can never be broken. And our wisdom can never be lost. So, thank you. I hope you have a happy full moon. And I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Please join my group, Present Moment Alchemy, on Facebook. I would love to hear how you resonate with my cards. Dragon Dreams Oracle. Thank you so much. Take care.